finally, we will consider abnormal, so here's abnormal losses with a scrap value. In this case, again, we will have abnormal loss of 1,000 liters, meaning that the input must have been, so 12,000 according to our condition. The expected output was supposed to be, or the normal loss, the normal loss was supposed to be 2,000, and we were supposed to have the expected output of 10,000 liters, but we had, so this is expected, but in fact we had actual output of 9,000 liters, which means that the difference between these two, 1,000, is abnormal loss. So this is the abnormal loss that we have. When we calculate the cost per liter, if you remember our formula again back before that I explained, we have the input cost minus scrap value multiplied by the normal loss and divided that by the expected output. And so it gave us 120,000 minus 2,000 by $5 and divided by 10,000 units. And that gave us, if I'm not mistaken, how much was it? $11, So $11 is the cost per unit. So that's, again, we got it out of hand. Now, to go and take a look at what happens with the journalization over here. So again, you probably already got used to it by now. We had 120,000 credited to material and debited to work in process. Then, when the process was done, we have an actual output of 9,000. And let me first write it over here. 9,000 liters is our actual output, but the cost is $11. And so this gives us $99,000 in cost, which we will debit to finished goods inventory because that's where it went. So we actually have that output. So $99,000 goes over here. The next thing is that we have an abnormal loss, and an abnormal loss is bound to be recorded as abnormal loss, and we're going to have it right here. Abnormal loss. And so what happens with that one? Again, the cost per liter is $11. We have lost 1,000, and so let me just write it again. 1,000 liters by $11, and that gives us 11,000. So 11,000 will be credited to work in process because this is a loss, and debited to 11,000 to abnormal loss. Now, considering that we have a scrap value of $5 per liter, here's what's going to happen once we sell it. We're going to have a cash account. Once we sell the normal loss, and the normal loss is 2,000 liters. Once we sell it, we're going to have $10,000 received in cash, 2,000 by $5, right? And where does it go in terms of the credit? The credit will be, I don't have much space, but I'm still going to risk it, $10,000 right here to the work in process. This is where it's going to leave. And finally, you might ask, okay, but the abnormal loss of 1,000 can also be sold for scrap value of $5 per liter, and we have 1,000 of those abnormal loss. And that one, abnormal loss, is 1,000 liters multiplied by $5 should result in $5,000 of cash receipt. And so we're going to write it over here. So that's going to be $5,000 of cash when we sell it. Hopefully the company sells it. So that's going to be 5,000 debit to cash, and credit where? Credit to abnormal loss. So once we complete that transaction, once we sell the 1,000 liters of the abnormal loss, we will save $5,000. We will end up with a balance of $6,000 in abnormal loss. So this is how it's going to work out.